Hello, I'm Ron Burgundy. Whew, and I'm tired. What's up, Antara Moody? Antara? What's up, man? Yee Yee. I guess that's Yee Yee. What's up, Nuclear Bomb? Ugh, I am. Here's a Czech word for tired: unavini. If you're a man, it's unavini. If you're a woman, it's unavina. I am unavini, which means I'm tired in English. Sim unavini, which is sim means I am. Tired is unavini. Sim unavini. Sim unavini. Alyssa and Zinger. I'll do that in a minute. Let's pull her up right now. Fuck it. What was it? Alyssa and Zinger. Rap all day news. Tampa woman accused. She must have did something bad. She did something bad. I mean, she just by that picture alone, I can tell you something right now. That woman did something so bad, Hitler would look at that and be like, damn. I ain't fucking with that. Just by that picture right there. She did something bad. And okay, and here's the thing. She didn't do something bad one time. This bitch was completely fucking wild for like years and just got too out of control. She didn't do something bad just one time. By the time a woman that looks like that gets arrested and then put in the news because she got arrested, this woman had been doing the most atrocious act, the most diabolical, atrocious acts known to mankind for years, and she couldn't suck a dick out of that one. This woman, look, throw that. I don't even need to know what she did. Just throw her under. By the time you came to me and say, "Hey, AD, look at this woman. She got arrested and she's in jail." Okay, I don't even gotta know what she did. Just throw her under the. By the time she has crossed that line to where the police was like, "Yeah, ma'am, you need to come with us. Get in the back of this car, and we ain't letting you out." Just, I don't even need to know what she did. Just throw her under the jail. Forget she exists. Society will be better off without her. All right? I don't even got to know what she did. Don't matter. By the time them police and that court system got a hold of her and got her dressed in that orange jumpsuit, that woman did something absolutely terrible. All right? That is, yeah, just forget she exists. Because trust me, society would be much better off. I seen some, she was raping, she was posing as a teen, molesting child. Wait, Tampa woman accused of posing as teen, molesting child faces more. What? Am I reading that wrong? Am I that tired? Tampa woman accused of posing as teen, molesting child. Okay, comma, faces more charges. They missed a comma. Okay. I'm pretty sure there should be a comma after the child. That's what threw me off. She's molesting child faces. That sounded like she was like face fucking children by saying that. Yeah, commas are important, right? Punctuation is important. Okay, so she's 23 and she's facing, so okay, this is a 23-year-old woman that looks like that, and out of all the charges, The only ones that they got to even stick past to stick in any kind of way was 12. Look, that woman's crazy. That woman is by the time okay, look, by the time she got in trouble and it's gotten documented, that woman has done thousands of things. Okay. Period. Period. But you know what is crazy? And I called this one. Now, when I think about it, I notice a difference. Remember Amber Heard? I never liked Amber Heard. You can see on my subscribe, I made a subscribe star long before she went to court and all that happened. And I was making fun of her long time ago. I knew what that was from the start. With Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I knew what that was from the beginning. I knew it was bullshit. Right? And I knew that she knew it was bullshit. The only funny part was Johnny actually recorded her saying that she knew it was bullshit, and society would never side with him because she's a woman. Like that was the only kind of shocking part out of all of it. Well, I think it's more shocking that they actually played that recording on TV. But what I did and what I called was when Johnny Depp actually won the case, right? What I called was that what that's going to fuck around and do is start giving men confidence to say, well, maybe women do fucked up shit. Maybe women aren't right all the time just because they're women and we want pussy. Maybe women could do some bad shit from time to time. And now looking back, like comment sections anywhere, men got more brave in any comment section. You know, over the last couple of years, men have gotten far braver. You know, saying shit out like just rampant now. And I would say that was pretty much Amber Heard. Amber Heard was the beginning of the end, of potentially the end for women. But yeah, I called that shit back then. Like if you go back in my older channel, like when the Amber Heard thing very first started, I was roasting Amber Heard back then. I knew it was bullshit. I got an old video that said something like, I heard she wants her ass whooped or something like that. And I was roasting her in that video. This was long before she got actually, you know, that whole scandal shit happened where her dog got stung by a bee and all that silly shit. This was long before that. By the time a little cute white woman has to go to court, right? And there is a 2% chance she might lose, that woman did something bad. That woman needs to be put in an asylum, in a crazy house, ASAP. That's just what it is. Here's the thing, RO. Okay, people be saying that. People say, here's the thing about that. Like women are worse predators than men. In my opinion, I think women are worse predators. Women are far worse at being predators when it comes to like molesting and shit, right? Because women, especially a girl who looks like that, she knows she could walk up to any man in a bar, any man at a football game, any man at a movie theater, and just walk up to him and just start whispering in his ear, start rubbing on him and grabbing his dick. And the vast majority of men would not say a word. She knows she can do that. The reason why I say, look, the reason why I say women are worse, are at the core, well, are horrible people. But when it comes to these topics, like sexual abuse and molesting people, women are worse because they molest who they know they're going to hurt. Right? Because like I said, women, like a girl like this, she knows she could walk up into any university, any bar, any job, anything, and just start grabbing a dude's dick and whisper in his ear, and he's not going to tell on her. Right? She knows that. Right? So where does she go? She goes to go, when women get on this child molestation shit, they're going there to genuinely hurt somebody. Right? They're going there. Women are going there in full conscious of going there intentionally to hurt somebody. It's like when men go into these things, Men are going there usually because they're hurt by the world, or some guys are just naturally wired for kids. But men are not going there to intentionally. Okay, it may some, but not definitely not nowhere near the amount that women will do it. They're not going there to intentionally hurt. You know what I mean okay, because no man can walk around at a random, fucking I don't know, a random movie theater and just hit on any girl that he wants and know she's not gonna say anything because she's into it, right? No man has that option, right? So men will commit more sex crimes and this shit out of just desperation from being hurt in one way or another, right? When women commit sex crimes, that is genuinely because they're just completely fucked up and or they just strictly want to hurt somebody. Because like I said, this girl knows she can go up to any guy randomly on the street, and 98% of men will not say a word, and the other 2% just might get shy. Right? Right. But oh yeah, by the time she's had okay, by the time they've got her dressing up in an orange jumpsuit and coming in and taking a mugshot, she did something bad. She's been doing this for a long time. She's been doing this for a long time. Let's read this shit. Oh, it's paywalled. I mean, we know everything we need to know. 23-year-old Tampa woman arrested in November after she was accused of posing as a 14-year-old girl while having a sex relationship with a child has been arrested again and is now facing charges related to 4 more juvenile victims, authorities said. See, like I just said earlier, the reason why it's, in my opinion, why it's so much worse is because this girl did not have to pretend to be 14 to get sex. Period. This girl did not have to do that at all. Now, guys can do it because they just can't get pussy. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to pretend to be 10, 15 years younger and all that shit like that. Or, you know what I mean? Guys will have to guys a lot of times will have to target younger people because they just don't have any option, right? The world's kind of kicked them to the curb, forgot about them, they beat down and they go out and do it, or whatever, right? Not every time, but more times than not when you hear confessions, that's usually where it's going to come out to. Right, but this girl goes online and poses as a 14-year-old girl to go fuck a 14-year-old dude. That is a whole different level of fuck. This is why I say all the time. I used to say all the time. Women, okay, the law book there should seriously be 2 law books, one for men and one for women. And the severeness of that crime based off of that gender and what's important to that gender. Because, see, the law books are still only primarily made for men, right? The law books are still primarily made for and against men, right? So with that being said, the reason why women get away with so many crimes and this and that is because the law book is essentially made to prey on man's instincts and never woman's instincts for anything. And then since it's not built on that, there's no even, if you even whisper the thought of analyzing a woman's nature, then you're just condemned to be this horrible, misogynistic, evil person. When all you want to do is just analyze a woman's actions and behavior based off of what women in general will find important. See, these are why these things are like this now. But yeah, with this woman, we already know. I mean, I don't need to. I mean, it's blocked behind a paywall, but I mean, it really wouldn't be too hard to find a whole article. But it's really not worth it. So she's fucking a dude between 12 and 15 years old. She child pornography, of course. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So we already know what we need to know. Yeah, because here's the other part, man. Like when it comes to this, like The other part of that whole sexual abuse shit on like kids and shit is because people at some point people are going to grow to want what they know is just like completely wrong or they can't have in some way. In some way it's going to happen because it's just human psychology, right? And again, with her, this girl, she knows she can just go on Tinder and essentially have free food for the next 6 months just by having dudes, send her money and take her out on dates. And, all she got to do is sit there and just pretend to smile. She knows she can do that, right? So here's the thing. In my opinion, I think sex crime should actually be worse against women. I think they should be far worse against when you truly factor in the two genders, what they find important and unimportant, their reasonings for going out and doing it on a psychological level, like on a professional psychological level, right? And you truly start to add and think, add pieces together, analyze shit, and think. Oh, I think sex crimes should be more violent. Manipulation crimes should be far more violent. I think there needs to be a lot more attention paid to that, to manipulation and sex crimes for women. I think I think the minimum sitting at this rate, I think the minimum sentencing should be 5 times for women than it is for every 1 time for a man. Flat out. I think they should receive far harsher sentences for it. Period. But what about equality? I know that's yeah, good because it doesn't work in a woman's favor now, so now you want equality. Right? But I truly think women should be punished 5 times what a man should be punished for things that involve anything to do with sex or manipulation. Easily, no questions asked, because they can just get away with too much. Because they're going to get away with at least 80% of what they want anyway. Are you with Dominion says? Are you planning to go back to your original monologues, your initial videos where you deliver your general thought and observations in 20 minutes or so? I love those. Please comment. Oh, I don't, man. I'm just kind of just winging it now. I'm got a baby. I have no plan at all, man. But because right now I'm raising my son, and now I'm teaching on my own and doing this, and then to work with people through YouTube, and I have my own things I want to do outside of all that. So like I have no idea at all. No idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this light out above me. Yeah, it's fine. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just winging it right now as it is. Oh, I will say this. I played the new God of War, and I actually like it. I didn't like the old new God of War. I didn't really care for that one at all, but this one's pretty good. I like Ragnarok because it just came out on PC, so I got that, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Um, and I thought about it right before this live stream. Why I'm enjoying it so much is because is that first boss fight in the first new God of War is essentially this entire game now, and it makes sense because I think they said they made the first boss fight against Baldur, last in development, and that's why it's actually just so great. And then, like the rest of the game to me was just boring. Like, so now this game is essentially just like that whole boss fight the whole way through now. And when you fight, like legit bosses and shit. I really don't. Ragnarok, I'm liking. I'm not like super far into it, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Some parts are just awkward though. Like there was this one part where I was fighting these little like these little iguana things that were like jumping up to me, and was Artreus. And then I had the blades of chaos, so I'm just like going wow. It's just it's like 3 iguanas, and like Kratos is just going like next level bonkers, like, and it's like 3 iguanas hopping around, and I can't hit them because they're so small, and Kratos just slinging the motherfuckers around, going and fire and all this shit. It just looked really awkward. But that was the only complaint I had so far. And on top of that, it just doesn't. Kratos just still doesn't look right when he like runs and shit. Now it just looks weird. But other than that, I'm having a really good time with it though. Shame it took so long to play it because it took so long to come out on PC. What's up, Oliver Biscuit? What's up, Elijah Pippin? Yeah, comedy exposure. I'm gonna get to it. Cause I did see the email. I'm gonna get to it. But yeah, yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it for sure. It's a shame it took so long to get on the PC. I'm waiting for that one samurai game though. I think it's something zero. What's that shit called? Phantom Blade. Phantom Blaze. I think that's it. Phantom Blade Zero. The samurai one. I'm waiting on that shit. I want to play that. Is it Phantom Blade? Yeah, this shit. I'm waiting on this. I want to play this. That samurai shit. Oh, it's a girl. Is it a girl doing it as the main character? Or they just put a girl's face up there to get clicks. That's a dude. I'm waiting on. I'm patiently waiting on this to come out to come to PC. I still ain't played that Wukong shit yet because that's only on. Well, no, it's on PC, but I don't want to buy that. To be honest with you, I was gonna pirate it because I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I don't want to spend that much money to just like, essentially like just punishment for it to be like a FromSoft game. So I'm gonna pirate it first to try it, and then I'll buy it if it's good. But if it's just gonna be just like boss rush, that's just gonna be like continuously frustrating, I'm not paying for that shit. Period. I would never pay for a FromSoft game or a Souls like. I'll pirate them just to have fun with them for a while, but I would never pay FromSoft to just sit there and be eternally frustrated at the same, in the same location for the next 8 hours trying to beat a ball. That's not worth money. All right, I'm just never gonna play the game. Have you heard this game called Space Marine? Yeah, I tried that, pirated that, because I don't play. A friend of mine, he's into that. Actually, I wrote him. Which one should I start? That Warhammer shit. A friend of mine was playing Warhammer back when I was in college. I remember I used to go over there and he'd be playing the Warhammer game because it always looked kind of weird and cheesy to me. It looked like a shitty version of Gears of War to me. Even though like I always kind of knew Warhammer was like this old, it was much older than Gears of War, but it just looked like the game he was playing just looked like a shitty Gears of War. So I never took it serious. But he was real, and a friend of mine, he was real into Gears Warhammer, like really into it. He's a black dude too. Usually, like I don't know too many black dudes who like Warhammer, but he was real into it. Um, I tried it. I didn't really care for it. To be honest with you, I didn't. I pirated it and tried it. I just didn't. It just really didn't like. Maybe I just came in at a bad time. Maybe you have to know more about the lore. I don't know anything about the lore or any. I know it has like I know the lore is supposed to be great, but I don't know anything about it, and I just like blindly tried it. So I'll admit that I probably walked into it wrong, and that's why I didn't play it. I didn't last that long with it. But yeah. Oh, let me go to my email. Hang on. So the place I go teach at on Tuesdays is pretty nice actually. It's a beautiful building. Fucking bug is in here. I can hear it hitting something. But where I go to teach on Tuesdays, it's a beautiful place. It really is. It's probably the best building I've ever seen in Czech Republic at this point. Beautiful building. It's literally like its own campus. It's a bank. Now, okay, so for those of you who were asking questions about teaching abroad, so um so this place was the only place that wanted to verify that I had a college education. And I can see why, because it's a legit place. So they wanted me, I remember they wanted me to send them a copy of my bachelor, of just a degree that I had. And to be honest, like, because I meant to show this on the live stream, just because okay, let me find it first. Did he send it here or in Google? But like I've always said before, how I literally have no idea where my college degrees are, because my dad, like, I was gonna throw them away, but my dad wanted to keep them, so he kept. I know he has at least. I know he has. Well, he has one because he sent me the pictures. It's in Google Voice. He has one because he had to send me a picture of it. Now I'm pretty sure my ex-wife has my master's degree. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure my ex-wife has my master's degree because at the time that school I was in, I just changed the address with another school like maybe like 6 months ago. So my address was always at my ex-wife's house. And I'm pretty sure she got that master's degree and she just never told me. And I'm never gonna call her to find out, so just leave it at that. But my dad, let me see if I can find it. How do you find like the list of media that people? Here it is. No, this isn't it. The list of media that you sent to each other. Because he sent me a picture of my. Here it is. Here's my bachelor's degree. Make this bigger. That's what she said. Because I've heard so many people on the internet say like, yeah, people make up excuses like, oh, I can't find my degree and all this shit like that when they probably really didn't graduate, which makes sense. But here's my actual Wilberforce bachelor's degree because I never knew where it was, and my dad, he had to go digging through the house to find it because I would have thrown it away. My identity is not based off of my education. You know what I mean? Like I have plenty other accomplishments in real life that I can actually apply in the world. So like I don't live my life based off of like saying I graduated from, I went to college, or that's not part of my identity. But here's my actual college degree. You see that? Wilberforce University, Wendell Warden Radford, Bachelor of Science from Wilberforce University. So there's my actual college degree. My dad had to send this to me so I can send it to the bank because they wanted to know you were college educated before they wanted to work with you. And now that's the only school I've ever heard, or like place that I've ever heard of to ask that. No other place has ever asked that. No other place has ever asked for a degree that I've ever heard of. Um, but yeah. So yeah, this is my bachelor's degree. I still don't know where my master's degree. I have no idea where my certificates are from college. I got a ton of those because I did network engineering, and you get a lot of them in there. If you do a STEM program, you're gonna stumble into a lot of certificates doing any any like technical STEM program like that. I have no idea where any of them are. No idea. They're definitely not with me. I have to call my dad and have him hope he kept them. What's up, Rave? What's your opinion on Diddy arresting for sex? I don't know. I still don't even know what exactly happened. Like, I'm seeing some reels where like people are making fun of him for having like baby oil or something. I guess his house got raided and it had baby oil or something like that in it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. I, I don't know. I can't. I don't have an opinion because I don't know. Yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say about that. We'll prove you have a real social security number and a real credit card. Yeah. 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 Oh wait, I forgot to get the. Hang on, I forgot to get the email. Success showers. What the hell is this? Success showers. This is getting to a sad state, man. Success showers. Why is it loading so slow? My download speed is shit. I'm probably lagging then. If it's taking this long to load, I'm probably frozen right now on the internet. If it's taking this long to load. Let me check. Let me check myself before I wreck myself. Am I freezing and lagging up? Cause it's like my Wi-Fi looks like shit right now on my end. That looks pretty good. I'm watching myself now. Am I freezing and lagging? Do you have an opinion on Mendez? The Mendez brothers, are those the guys who killed their parents? Once it gets to like money like that, now that is a common thing. That's a common thing. If I remember correctly, the Mendez brothers killed their parents. Yeah, they murdered their parents in '96. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a common thing. That's a common thing. Usually, and because usually when I was into like the crime book, I used to be into like how the bitches are into like Netflix and like watching like murder documentaries and shit like that. As women are just dumb. But I used to be into reading like why crimes would happen. Like I didn't really care. I was never really interested in like somebody planning to kill somebody and all this. My whole thing was to figure out the psychology behind like why people would do things, and then it was like how they would be caught and these kind of. I was more like a Sherlock Holmes type of person with these things, whereas like women watching these murder documentaries just like to stroke their own emotional roller coaster ride, for entertainment. But when I was into these things, again, it was more like from like a Sherlock Holmes perspective, where I could see if I could predict where it was going next. So I used to be really into books that would like go into like crimes, around the world that would be documented and like where it would lead to. And generally speaking, like most crimes are usually going to be about money. Somebody didn't love them back, or money, or a mixture of the two. It's usually going to be that. And 9 times out of 10, like when a kid plans to murder the parent, it's usually because they want the life insurance. In most cases, it's going to be a life insurance, or they're going to want the inheritance, these types of things. And usually when the parent ends up killing the child, it's usually because the child reminds them of failure in life, and then the child's just always there and just like dragging them down, slowly, more and more. So the parent ends up like killing the kid. It's usually the same thing all the time. Very rarely it's something different. Usually the parent kills their child because they want to be free, and the child kills the parent because usually they want to inherit something like house, cars, money, this type of. Usually in most cases it's the same. Every now and then you get the sprinkled in like, oh, they were being sexually abused and that's why they killed them. But even that's kind of iffy um, because the kid will usually just use that as a defense. Usually, like the more you dive into it, you'll find out, oh, the parent actually had like a life insurance plan for like $3.2 million and all this shit like that. It'll usually come out later. But most of the time it's the same thing. So with the Mendez brothers, if like I could pretty much tell you right now, it's a good chance that they teamed up together and they'll come up with any story to prove their point. But they were trying to inherit their parents' money. Most cases, like I said, out of every case, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume from when I used to be into this and read these stories. Out of every case, when crimes get that bad where people got to start end up being killed, nine times out of 10, at least it's about money. Um, I would say 90 times out of 100 is about money, and very rarely is it just about like. Now there are manslaughter situations where the manslaughter manslaughter is when you just get into a fight and then you end up killing somebody. Like you were just angry, you were fighting, or like you committed the act with intent, but you didn't mean to actually kill him. And I'm pretty sure, let's look it up real fast to make sure I'm not like talking bullshit. Manslaughter is not, murder is when you went home and planned it. Yeah, the crime of killing a human being without malice aforethought. Yeah, like they didn't want to really do it. It was more like an accident to actually kill them. The crime of killing someone, the crime of killing someone unintentionally or without having planned to do it. Yeah, and murder is when you sat down, you clearly thought about it, and then you went off and did it anyway and just didn't care. Yeah, see, so murder is the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another. Yeah. So I just wanted to hurry up, look it up, so I, was at least spreading right information. But on the Mendez brothers, yeah, it's going to come down to the same thing. They want their parents' money. Let's go back to the Mendez. I guarantee their parents had some money or something. Their parents had money, and they wanted it. Oh, so I guess this is popular on Netflix now. The Mendez brothers. Yeah, the Mendez brothers was a big thing when I was a kid. I remember that going on when I was a kid. I hate using Wikipedia, but I just want to look up, because it's probably going to have it broken down properly with their parents. Yeah. Fear their father would kill them after they threatened to expose him for years of sexual emotion. Yeah, like they'll say anything. Yep, here it is right here. Yep. Multi-million-dollar. It's always the same thing. It never changes. It's like dealing with hoes. Like it's dealing with bitches. The core things, the core things never change. I found it immediately. It didn't take 15 seconds. Right there. There's money somewhere involved, and that's what it was about. And they'll say they were beaten, raped, and all this shit like that as a defense. But, I mean, whether they were or not, who really knows? But they're always going to say that. But, yeah. There was money. Their parents had money. Appeals, marriage, interviews. But yeah, that's what it's always going to be about money, man. That's my opinion on it, for whatever it's worth. What's up, Scotty Side? So yeah, with the Mendez brothers, like yeah, it's always the same thing. Now and then you have because I remember another big thing that was going on for a while was dentists. Now this is another thing people don't like to talk about, because especially in professional worlds aren't supposed to have this happen. But another very common thing was I forget what exactly it was, but it was in the dentist's office. That was another very common crime that people would they would cut deals with like the town dentist to like kill you once you like went under, or they would operate on your teeth a certain way to put something in your teeth that would kill you to get the life. Like they would all team up against like this one person to do it. That was a pretty big deal, I would say. It's been so long since I read that book. If I had to guess, it was between the 60s and the 80s, around that time period. They were like really fucking with people like that. Because like I said, right around that area. So like last time I touched on this, John Dillinger. So the movie with Johnny Depp, Public Enemies. He played John Dillinger, and the big thing about John Dillinger was that his thing was he was from Dayton, Ohio, where I went to college at, pretty sure, or he was living in Dayton, Ohio. Well, he was born in Indiana, but I'm pretty sure he ended up living in Dayton, Ohio. And his thing was he was a bank robber who would just literally just cross state lines, rob a bank, and just cross the state line again. Well, there was no law that said that was illegal. And on top of that, every police station was like in that town only, and at max that state. So like back before John Dillinger would do that, you could theoretically just keep going. Like you could literally just cross the state line, go rob a bank, walk across the state line, and the police technically couldn't cross the line and come get you, right? Once you because you were out of their jurisdiction. And when John Dillinger did it so much that he triggered the creation of the FBI to stop that, to where they could now go across state lines to fuck you up for what you did. You know, even if you ran 3 states over, you committed the crime in that state, so they can now, you know, come get you type shit. Um so yeah, I got real. So if you ever watched the movie Public Enemies, don't watch it. I watched it the wrong way the first time I watched it. I was watching it for Johnny Depp, looking almost for like a Tony Montana situation of like him just being gangster, and it really wasn't that. It was more watching him kind of create his own like downfall in a record breaking way. If you watch it from that perspective, then it's a pretty good movie. But don't watch it by how like they kind of force you to watch it just by staring at Johnny Depp for 2.5 hours, right? Like they because he's Johnny Depp, like they, you know, he's the star, so they want you to, you know, stare at him the whole time because that's where the money's coming from. But it was a really good movie if you watched it how it was really intended. But yeah, but back then, like yeah, there was a lot more relatively casual crimes because this, you gotta remember, people, there's always greedy people, but it wasn't like it is today, man. Like the greed of today's world is just so it's just gonna get worse with social media, internet. It just gets worse because everybody wants an Instagram life, and and the crazy part is I have I have an Instagram life, and I was thinking about this before. I have essentially an Instagram life. I came from Ohio. I only worked in factories when I could get a job in Ohio. Pretty much, there was really no hope. I went to college, graduated 4 times, and then, long story short, moved to Europe. Now I have a baby in Europe in a flat that overlooks Prague. Like that sounds like an Instagram life, right? Like if I were to write my life on paper, that shit sounds like some shit that, you know what I mean, a motherfucker would dream about doing. But I'm here to tell you, it's not all perfect at all. I still get the stomach flu and colds and bad moods, and you know what I mean, just like just like I did before I could even dream about moving to Europe, moving to Czech Republic. I mean, you got so many people on Instagram and internet just talking, man. Like there's so many people on Instagram and internet that's just talking, and they're just full of shit, man. Like I was telling my dad, like, cause I was just talking to my dad about it, cause we were talking about my brother, and I said, like, and I'll be honest, and I was honest. I said I feel sorry for my brother because he has 2 kids. My brother has 2 kids. He never went to college. He's still working these, these regular jobs. I mean, like he never really my brother never had that opportunity in any way to really be free and see the world for real as a playground, right? Like I see the world, even though I'm fucked up now, I still see the world as like, well, what can I do next? What can I try completely new next? What can I play with and see if I can do that now? I truly see the world as a playground, right? Whereas my brother never got that. He was essentially once he hit adult years, it was part of his own doing, but he never had that same outlook on life because pretty much when he hit adult years, he was stuck to having to work or starve, and that was it, right? Because he never had any higher education to get any higher paying jobs. I tried to find him a few jobs and he never went through on it. I could have got him a job as an ambassador one time. I told him just fill out the application. They're gonna hire you because you with me. He never filled out the application. Never would even talk about it. But I do feel sorry for him because he's never seen the world in any other way except hope some boss at work likes him and and not have to ask too many people for money. And that's all he's ever really known as an adult. He's never known the life of being free. So I feel sorry for him. And he said, well, he looks up to me. And I thought about it. I told my dad, I said, yeah, I hope he's not intimidated by hearing what my life sounds like on paper. Because it sounds like something that could intimidate some people, right? Especially if they never had that type of freedom. It could be intimidating to hear back. Yeah, to people back in Ohio, I'm the guy who moved off to Europe. I'm the guy who went to college and moved off to Europe and never came back to them, right? And I get it. Like I totally, I mean, I get how it sounds. But with that being said, like it's definitely, you have your good and bad times just the same as everybody else for sure. Even though I've been to brothels and fucked, women I never thought I would ever be able to fuck in any circumstance, right? I've already done all that, and but even with that being done, like I can still see how life is still, you still have your own, life questions and all this. You never grow out of it. Yeah, Scotty, I said the same thing. What's up, Games Day? Yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah, yeah. The Mendez brothers, that was a thing when we were kids. Yeah, I think you're about the same age as me. Yeah, so you remember. Yeah, the Mendez brothers, they were always on TV, and yeah, it was, but they were much younger then. But yeah, that was a thing. I think it's from what I've seen, I think it's like popular now on Netflix, so it's gaining more attention. AD, I have a video coming out tomorrow about a lawyer telling men to do the dishes and their wives won't divorce them. Wait, lawyer telling men to do the dishes and their wives won't divorce them. Would you mind checking it out? I'd like your thoughts. Yeah, man, just try to send it to me or something because I know I'm gonna fuck around and forget because I got just too much stuff going on right now. Well, because just having a baby alone is too much. But yeah, because I know I'm gonna forget, man. I can't set an alarm. I know I'm gonna forget. So try to send me an email or something, man. I know I'm gonna forget. If you have my number, text me. I know I'm gonna forget, but I'm definitely not against doing it. But here's the thing, like I do dishes, like I do dishes. Like here, okay, here's the thing. I think because of how I got into how a dude like me would get into a relationship, doing the dishes, cooking, doing my own laundry is not like a deal for me because it's how I do it, right? Like for perfect example, I like to cook, right? I'm not the absolute best, but I can cook some good food. Like you would not be mad, and no one in the comment section would be mad at something I cooked, unless I know I fucked it up, and I told you I fucked it up. If I made it and I knew I made it how it's supposed to be made, nobody in the comment section would cook. If anything, if you're in the U.S., you might think I'm like far above average because American food is usually so bad. Uh, but yeah, the last few days I was cooking beef cow neck, right? Because it's real tender if you cook it right. And my girl, she swore to God she would never ever eat cow neck because it's the neck, right? I get it, right? But all I do, I think a live stream about a month and a half ago. I showed you guys on here. I just wrapped it in foil, put it in the oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and cooked it for about 3 hours. And it's just absolute perfection, right? It's like just next level tender. You can cut it with a butter knife or a spoon. It's just perfect, right? Juicy, everything you can imagine meat to be. That's how it comes out when you cook it that way. Right, just so if you ever, for real quick, if you ever wonder how to cook, if you want the most tender, perfect beef, better than any beef you're gonna get at any restaurant, especially in North America, just get some cow neck. I get about 800 grams every time, and then just wrap it in foil and put it in the oven. Wrap it completely in foil, like encase it in foil. Put it in the oven for 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2.5, 3 hours. I say 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it's gonna come out. As long as you do it right, it's gonna come out. You don't have to season it. You don't have to marinate it. None of that. You would think it if you tasted it, you would have thought I marinated it. No, I didn't do none of that. And when I cooked it, she's like here's the thing. Whenever I cook, she ends up standing over the stove, just eating the food like straight out, whatever. And she's classier, right? Like she don't do that. Like she'll go get a plate. She will starve herself just so she can sit to be, feminine and dainty at a table, right? She'll do that, right? She's one of them types of people. But most women are, right? Like, but when I cook something, she doesn't even like to eat pork. But when I made pork ribs, she stood above the stove and just kept eating this shit like straight off the top of the stove. Didn't get a plate, nothing. Just like it's just so good. And she's not one of those that lie to. Like she'll tell you, like she's picky. Like she's picky. If she doesn't like it, she's not gonna eat it. So like, it's not that thing like she's pulling my strings. Like if she if she doesn't want something, she's not gonna eat it. She's very honest about that. But I like to cook, right? But I like to cook because I like to cook. I don't like to cook because I'm trying to impress somebody, right? I'm not trying to cook to get on her good side. I'm not trying to cook to get brownie points in a relationship. I'm cooking because I want to eat some fucking cow neck, right? Some tender ass cow neck, right? So for me, cleaning my own dishes, like I can do these things and still be perfectly fine, right? In the relationship because I'm doing it strictly for me. And on top of that, I'll fuck around and do it better than her, especially with cooking. I'll fuck around and do it better than her, right? So the fact that I do these things that are or baking cookies, I love to bake cookies when I'm in the mood to do it, because my cookies just come out just perfectly soft, just the right amount of soft and hard to where it's like it's just perfect. When I'm in the mood to do it, I'll do these things that are usually categorized as feminine things. Like with my plants outside, I take care of my plants, these things, right? And I do it because I want to do it. It has nothing to do with what she thinks, what she cares about, nothing to do with her. It's my thing, right? But I think what happens is on average, most men will get into a relationship where at one point or another, like they'll start caring about the woman too much and then end up being in this whole situation of I'm trying to impress you type shit. And at that point, that's when, yeah, don't do the dishes, bro. Don't do them for her. Do them for you. Because you seen them and you felt like doing them. Because I do my own dishes. Right? Now, here's the thing. Now, in the beginning, when we first started dating, I didn't do it and essentially just to leave her something to do. Like, especially when we first started dating, I never folded my own clothes or anything. I still don't fold my own clothes. But I just don't like folding clothes. But so she always does all. She always folds the clothes and all that. But as time went on, it was pretty much like I would watch her do it and then want to see if I could do it and see if I could do it better than her. And that's how it came. Like, that's how I came back around to me doing it. Because for a while, I never cooked for a long time when we first started dating. She was doing all the cooking. She's a good cook. She's a good cook. Just kind of, yeah, the only thing, well, and everybody kind of does this, man. Everybody does. Everybody does this. They'll just kind of fall into cooking the same 3 or 4 things. I do the same thing, and she does the same thing. So that's the only like complaint I have about her cooking. She'll do the same. She'll cook the same 3 or 4 things all the time, and I'll do it too. Like I'll do it too. So I think it's just a human thing. You just get lazy, but washing the dishes so she won't divorce you. Yeah, in my opinion, just from that statement alone, or that quote, just from that quote alone, that sounds like a whole wrong direction. That's an entirely wrong direction. Do the dishes so they won't divorce you. Now, a woman does the dishes so the man doesn't divorce her. That works. But a man, no. It don't work that way. What do you think makes someone never? What do you think makes someone never having children, considering they would go against their natural urge to have children? What do you think makes some women never wanting to never have children? Okay, I think that's what it's. Maybe I'm tired. I'm just misreading it, but I'm thinking it says, "What do you think makes women not want to have children?" Okay, here's the thing: every woman wants to have children at some point. Every woman. Now they can kind of blame the economy. Now they can, now they can kind of blame the economy, but every woman's gonna want that. The vast majority of women are gonna want it. They'll sit up and lie and say they won't and all that. Um, mostly the reason why is because they don't think they don't think they can truly take care of another human, which is mostly correct. Uh, after the baby grows into like a toddler, most women are just horrible with kids after that. Outside of just giving them whatever they want, that's why fathers are needed. Um, but nowadays people are blaming, which I mean, the economy is a plausible excuse, but in reality, women have never really cared about these things. Every woman wants a child. Every woman wants a child, just like every woman wants to look like a Melania Trump type of bitch, right? Like one of them. But the issue comes in is when the women realize they just biologically can't keep up with a Melania Trump look, even though she's had plastic surgery, they still just can't keep up with that for whatever reason, and that's why women will say, "Oh, I don't like that, I don't need that, blah blah blah, this and that," right? That's where that'll come from, right? Where on the other hand, on the other side of it, men at first men want like muscles or $1 million in these things, but in mostly every case mostly every case that you've ever heard of these successful people, once they got the $1 million, the men specifically, they'll usually turn back around and say, yeah, I'm not happy with any of this shit. More times, how many times have you heard a successful man turn back around and be like, yeah, I'm not really happy with this shit, I'm not really happy. And every time, most men will grow to see that. They'll grow to see that it's just gonna cause another problem. Ugh. When you got like that one weird like piece of fucking snot that's stuck in your fucking nose and you can't get it out? That's what I got right now. It's like that one little weird piece of fucking snot that's like stuck somewhere. And when you blow your nose, it just rattles. It just stays up there. And then one time you blow it and it all just like kapoof, just comes out. Like, maybe I got a weird nose, but I got that shit going on right now. And it's annoying because you know it's there. Like, I know it's there, but I can't get it out. There it goes. It just came all out. Yes, here it's gone now. It's not rattling. I hate that shit. What do you say is the key to success in a dating world for guys who aren't very confident or lack of options? Grave Rave, I honestly, okay, I can't really answer that, man, because, okay, well, correction. I can, depending on what age you are. Like, if you're older and my demographic, um, well, here's even then it's kind of hard to explain it, man. But for the younger guys, I just can't even begin to even see the world how you see it. Like for anybody who's under, I'd say 27, maybe I'd say 28. Anybody who's under age of 28, I just can't even begin to see the world how you see it, because like when I graduated high school, you that would have made you like 11 at most, right? So like at that point, you were brought in to the world when dating apps were already uh, common, common and normal. When dating apps were normalized, you weren't weird for, you weren't dumpster diving by going into online dating at this point. Like completely dumpster dive, not like dumpster diving now, but like dumpster dive. Like okay, dumpster diving for online dating 20 years ago meant that okay, you were really okay. There were not gonna be any pretty women on there. It was gonna be mostly weirdo motherfuckers on there, like completely weird people. And that's another thing. Like the weird then is different than weird now. But back when I was like 18, 19, 20, online dating was like you okay. you would rather choose to just stay single than even go to online dating, because it was just known online dating was just the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the low when I was like 18, right? Because I was just talking to somebody else about it. They had those eHarmony ads on TV where people talking about how they met and Match.com and all that. People had these like the TVs were putting these ads on TV, but it was still like somebody tried it, but like it wasn't what it is. And back then you had to pay for all of it. None of it was. I'm pretty sure Tinder was the first free one, if I'm not mistaken. I think Tinder was the first free one. Though all the dating apps before that, the dating websites, you had to pay for it. Some of them you can see the people, some of them you couldn't, from what I understand. I think I looked it up on the internet, but I did try Match.com one time, and that was a disaster. And not in a way you might think. I tried Match.com one time when I was maybe, and I'm going to tell the honest story why that turned into a disaster. I tried Match.com. I was maybe, how old was I? Was probably about 28, 27, 28 at the time. Because I was just bored. I had finished university and I was just bored. And I remember I tried Match.com. I did it. And I met a girl off of there. And the girl just was not attractive, in my opinion. I don't think she was. I mean, somebody would have found her cute, but I didn't find her. But we met, and I met her, and we went out to some place to eat in like in one of them gentrified. It wasn't even gentrified. It was a new area. If you know Ohio, it was down 75, but it was where they just built a hospital, so it was like new shit. And we went over there, hung out, we talked, and just hung out. Well, she wanted to go out for Halloween, so some friends of mine, we all went out for Halloween, right? And I invited her to come since we had hung out before, right? Because I remember I went as Captain America. So if you have my Facebook. On my Facebook, I leave only the embarrassing pictures up. So there's pictures of me dressed up like Captain America on my Facebook. I'm pretty sure you can see them. If not, I'll show them right now. No, I deleted Facebook. I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore. I would show you. But anyway, go to my Facebook. It's just my first and last name, like Instagram. And it'll be a picture of me standing with the captain. I was like posing like Captain America. Well, anyway, we all go out. That was the first time I called an Uber, by the way. And we called up, we rode in an Uber to downtown Cincinnati. And the girl hadn't made it yet, from Match.com. And we go into this bar, and it was like a bar / club for Halloween. And as soon as I go in there, I'm not exaggerating. As soon as I go in there, I start talking to this girl who was gorgeous, and this sounds like I'm making it up, and I'm completely not. As soon as I walk in there, I'm talking to this girl who was just beautiful. Like the complete different from what was getting ready to come in there, right? And she was like completely into me, dude. Like she was like completely just like, she just submitted. She sat under me. She's staring up at me, and she's like waiting for me to talk to her. And we're just like chilling. And she was like completely into me. Like I'm talking completely into me. And then the hit girl from Match.com walked in. I told her to come, so I couldn't tell her, like, I'm not that type of dude that would act like I didn't know her. I'm just too loyal in that sense. So I just told the girl I had to go, and she was like, okay, and that was just it. So I had to hang out with the ugly girl. But yeah, dressed up as Captain America. What's up, Puck Plays? Would you say that the key? Wait. Oh yeah. So, wait. I didn't know. I went on a whole tangent, and I don't even know. Oh, because I was talking about online dating. Yeah. If you're younger than 28, man, like I honestly, the only thing I can tell you to do is what I did, but it was also just a different time. I don't want to be that fucking boomer dude who says, "Yeah, just all you got to do is just clean off your saddle." Like, motherfucker, ain't nobody riding horses. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't want to be that dude, right? Be that old fucking dude who's just completely out of time and out of space. But what I would recommend you do, but even this, people are so antisocial because of online. And the internet's fucked up so many people. Even in Czech Republic, it's gotten over here. You ride the train and everybody just immediately stares at their phones. Not everybody, but a lot of people, they'll just immediately open their phone, just scroll through some Instagram app or something, right? Like nobody talks. Well, most Czechs don't talk anyway. But what I would tell you to do is talk to people just to talk to them, and that's how you get practice. Just talk to people just to talk to them. Don't worry about if they're attractive, if they're unattractive, if they're tall or shorter than you. Just talk to people just to talk to people. Just to do it. Because you never know where that's going to go, one. And then two, you're going to be gaining experience. Like, for example, I had a guy today I was teaching, right? And I never met him. This is my first time meeting him. And it said he spoke C1 level English, which is like, that means he can understand everything I'm saying in this YouTube video, right? If he's level C1. C2 is like the highest you go, but C1 is like right before that. In the test, from the information I had on his notes said he was a C1 level speaker, and all I knew was that and his first and last name. I never seen the guy before, right? So he comes in, and he was immediately, there's something going on with him. He's not like all the way, like he's definitely not an extrovert. I'll tell you that much, right? So, I mean, this was a completely different case than anybody else I've been teaching so far. This is by far the most different one I've had, and I think he might have been shy, whatever. So I get to talking to the guy, and he's a mathematician, right? And I think that's fucking cool that he's a mathematician. So I got him talking about mathematics because when he came in, he had this binder, this like this small note taking book, and he had this bunch of numbers written in it. And I'm like, why is he? But he's a mathematician. And he said, yeah, I was just doing recreational math just for fun. I'm like, are you fucking? You doing math just for fun? You do this shit like this? This shit motherfuckers only hear about in movies. Like you're doing math for fun. He's like, yeah, I got my master's degree in mathematics. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. So I asked, like, so what's the hardest math that he knows? And he said he studied. Let me see if I can find it because I'm pretty sure I searched it. Yes, I was talking to him about P versus NP because I knew about that. I think it's a contemporary math or no, it's in the iPad. Where's the iPad at? Hang on, let me get the iPad. It's like right over here somewhere. Here we go. Where we at? It was category theory. That's where he left off at. Category theory mathematics, and he said it was like he says just so wild shit. Like he never actually completely got it, but that was the highest that he knows. He said math, but he was one of those guys. He's just really into math. And if I had judged him like immediately, I just would have never talked to him, right? But since I have that experience of talking to people, and and just kind of seeing past that, I can do it. Now, he's the type of person, he's not going to lead a conversation. He's that stereotypical mathematic guy, right? Like, he's severely introverted, like, socially awkward. I'm not saying this to make fun of him. This is just what he is. And he's all that, the stereotype, complete stereotype of it. If I could, but I got to talking to him about math, and I think it's pretty fucking cool that he does that. Seriously, not even just trying to, make it a feel-good story. But the point I'm trying to get at is in the dating market. The dating market it really isn't very much different than like talking to people and being friends market, if you do it right. If you take a genuine interest in what they're doing, right? Take a genuine, even if you don't know about it. Like I said, watch the movie a long time ago. I said, watch the movie Benjamin Button. That statement where he goes, because there's a statement in Benjamin Button where he says, just talk to somebody who has a different point of view. Just talk to people who just have a different point, something you don't even know anything about. Just take time, take a little bit of time just to learn. Not in like a YouTube, going through YouTube videos and Instagram reels, not in that format, but go in the real world and just find people who have a different perspective than you, a different, something that they're studying something completely different than you study. Go find somebody like that and just ask them about it. These things will deeply enrich your experience, deeply. And the next thing you know, you're going to lose that sense of being like, maybe nervous or scared or whatever. Not completely, but you'll lose a lot of it. And you'll start to see people as people, right? More. Not see people as people in this retarded Reddit way of like, you know, everybody's just trying to sound the same. But you'll see people as people in the sense of they have hopes, fears, loves, and hates, just like people from the 16th century had, right? And we're all just really doing the same shit, right? These are the things I mean by talking to people just to talk to them. Don't worry about if they old and ugly or young and ugly or tall and fat. Don't worry about if they smell funny. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about if they missing teeth. Don't worry about if they just look weird. If they just, in my opinion, the stranger the better. I forget what singing artist said that, but the stranger the better, in my opinion. The weirder, the stranger, the more uncomfortable, that's the better. But even with that being said, even people who are boring, you can learn something from them. So that's what I would to work in a dating world. I think number one, you have to know how to be open to hear new shit, to hear random shit. This whole and when I say new shit and random shit, you can tell when somebody's like, hitting you with the whole stereotype of what they think you want to hear, right? This is why I say like hang out with people who are doing something. Go to places where people, when you meet somebody, you can tell that they're just doing something on their own. They're not doing what everybody else is doing. But even then, you never really know who's going to be the next great conversation. You really can't tell. Like with the guy today, again, with the guy today, the mathematician, if I had not been me, right, and I had been just like a regular person who just would have seen him, like I would have immediately just wrote him off and just ignored him and tried to get out the room as fast as possible and all that because he's awkward, right? He's an awkward guy, right? But like I said, I've had the practice of talking to people, meeting new people, hearing the craziest of stories from people you would never expect, right? So with that came the ability to understand, you know, everybody's just a person. Like everybody is just a person, right? Everybody woke up that morning. Hopefully, you're not talking to a zombie, but everybody woke up that morning. Everybody thought to themselves for a minute. Everybody, maybe dropped something when they stood up or hit their leg, just like you did. We're all doing the same shit. Everybody got things they're ashamed of, everything, right? So once you can get to that point, maybe you're already there. I don't know, but I think that dating is going to happen at that point once you become that kind of person because you're just talking to too many people and too many people see you, they know you, they recognize you, they'll call your name from across the street or well, here in Prague they can do that, but and then it'll just happen from all different angles. Now my problem in life is not being lonely. My problem in life now is being pulled in so many directions that I can't keep up with everybody. So I'll just end up letting everybody down and then just staying home and playing PlayStation all day, which I love playing PlayStation. But that my problem in life has very rarely ever been being out of options, right? I've always had some kind of options somewhere, always since I've been older, and I worked on it. I've always knew people, talked to people here, there that recognized me, knew my name, blah, 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 this and that. Actually, I just spoke to people in the people I used to work with in the VA literally 10 years ago, and one woman just gave me uh, one of the counselors' personal number to call her to talk to her because she knows about the problem I had with the other VA, and gave me her personal number and an email. Hey, yeah, here's the number. Tell her I told her everything, but tell her more. Blah 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 blah. I've always had these options in life. Like I've always had the options to be like, I got to make a phone call and fix whatever the problem is. The thing is, I don't like to make the phone call, right? Because I don't want to, because I feel like I'm going to let that person down in the near future because I can't keep up. So what's the opposite side of the issue on my end? Nick says, just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. What's up, Charlie Guns? Yeah, man, in Czech, but yeah, I'm good, man. But real quick, the food, I wanted to talk about this before I forgot. So the food, because I mentioned how I can cook stuff. Well, now I could cook it to where it's even good for like Europe standards. Like my wife, I call her my wife, my spouse. Everybody, I call her my wife to everybody, but we're not married. She grew up in Italy, right? And if I'm making bread and cooking food to the point where she's in love with it, my cooking game has definitely gone up. Right? So to put into perspective, when I first came to Czech Republic and I moved in with who would be my future wife at the time, we lived not far from this area called Nymburk, this city called Nymburk, and Nymburk had this. I remember she actually took me there the first time. It was this restaurant that sold burgers and ribs and these things, right? So I remember I always got to try the ribs wherever I go, the pork ribs. And back then, when I first came here, those ribs were so delicious. Because remember, I just came from the US. Those ribs were so delicious that I would go back at least once a week just as a treat to myself. Because it was like a 30-minute drive to Nymburk to where we lived. But those ribs were worth it. Because remember, I was only used to eating American food, right? Because our food's so bad in the US. So maybe about a year ago, I finally worked up the nerve to go back to Nymburk now to go try those same ribs. And I went back to Nymburk now after I've learned how to cook. I've had the experience of, eating at different places, and I went back to the rib place and they were just regular ribs. You mean, like it wasn't anything special. But that's how much my taste for food has like gone up since being out over here, right? It was just a regular. It was nothing, absolutely nothing special. I mean, it was fresh and hot and everything, but I can cook ribs better than that now. Back then, I couldn't when I first tried it. But let me see if I can find it. Let's look it up on Google Maps. I always have a hard time finding it until I finding anything in Nymburk until I know exactly where I am. Let's see, so it's probably gonna be maybe. Oh, I can't drop the dude down here. How do I get to? Oh. So let's go. That's there. Should be somewhere down here. And like every time I do this, I have no fucking idea where I am right now. I don't know where any of this is. And then I'll know, yup. I do this every time. I hit one corner and I know exactly where I am. Okay, I know where I am now. So it's up. It's over here. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's down the street on the left. It's one of these. Okay, yeah, because I walked past that. I remember that flower shop. It's further down. Yeah, fuck. It's a little further, maybe. Here it is, right there. This place. This is the place. What's that say? Restaurace u Gregolu. Gregolu. That's where that's the place. It's, I mean, if you're coming from the US, you'll think it's amazing, but if you've lived here for a while, you're just used to the food. You're going to be used to the food. It's like nothing extraordinary. I mean, it's still good. You're not going to be disappointed, but at this point, I've learned how to cook my own ribs better now than they do. So it's like it's a downgrade going out anywhere now. But I'm the same age as you, Greg. Well, I'm 38. I'm the same age. I'm an older guy, 37. I don't feel old yet, but thanks for your answer. I am taking an online course to become better at conversations. Thanks for your reply. Oh, Grave Rave. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, whatever works for you, man. I would just say, just the number one thing is to just get the ball rolling, man. Just get the ball rolling. Because everybody understands things very differently, man. Like I could tell you one thing, and it may just not click with you at all. Where somebody else can tell it to you, and it just you immediately just take it in the right way. Because my method is just to go out and just have the biggest train wreck possible. That way you have the data on the train wreck and how it feels, and you're not afraid of it anymore. And even then, you'll still be afraid of it at some point, but that's my method. But my method may not work for you, right? So like whatever the fuck works, you go for it, man. What's this? So real quick, another thing that helped me with conversations to the next level. Okay, what took my conversations like to the next level to where I can always be entertaining even when I'm really not in the mood to be. Like, for example, a few days ago, a guy who works in the office at the school I work with, he asked if he wanted to go out for a beer. So I said, yeah, sure, come on, let's go. And I really didn't feel like going out. Like, I just be agreeing to shit, but I really did not feel like going out. He wrote me, and I was like, yeah, I'll go out. Because I had just installed God of War. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to stay in. I'm getting ready to play God of War. And he said, hey, you want to go grab a beer? Blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, sure, why not? And I went, and I was not in the mood to go out. I was tired. I didn't eat much, and I was hungry. And I went out, and we ended up staying out for like hours, dude, and talked the whole time. But I told him, like, I really wanted to cancel, but I didn't want to be the guy to cancel on you. So I just came out anyway. Because I was just tired. I was tired. I didn't get much sleep because I slept with the baby that night before. He kept kicking me all night. I was just tired. But yeah, man. What took my conversations to the next level it wasn't when I was working at the VA. It was when I was going to University of Dayton in Ohio, and I had a teacher in there. His name was Alan Dimmitt, and he changed a lot. He changed a major course of my life and conversation level. Alan Dimmitt was the one who completely opened my eyes to the possibility of what I said versus what you heard. These kind of things, right? Or the scenarios of how fastly things can complicate, if you just add one more person into the room. He was the one who completely opened my eyes. I had never thought about these things. I remember he drew it on the board, and he went to the board and just drew it out and just showed like just how quickly life scenarios can just either take off well or just completely crash, literally because just one extra person got added into the dynamic, right? Because now it's what do I think? What do I think about them? What do I think about what they think about what I think? What do I think that they think about what somebody else thinks about me? Like all these, the reality of all these different thoughts and scenarios that happen so fast that we don't even think about it, right? He was the one who opened a lot. So here's the thing. How I took it was okay. I could have taken it as becoming very self conscious over every little word I said, or I could just lean into it and just fucking crash and make a comedy out of it. Right. So like when I went to go sign this contract at this school, I was telling my spouse this a few days ago. Um, when I went to go sign the contract at the school, I walked in. I was talking to everybody and talking to all the guys there, and they immediately took me in. They were all great, and I remember I said, well, I heard you got a contract for me because I'm pretty important. I'm pretty important, right? And I said it like I was like arrogant, but like just funny enough to where you can get the joke kind of thing, right? Just and here's the thing, even if they don't get the joke, like later on they'll think about it and think about how ridiculous it was, and at some point they got to be like, yeah, that dude's ridiculous, right? So at some point they'll have to break down with it, right? So the other part is like saying shit that's so ridiculous. Here's the thing, my goal in life is to say jokes or do something so ridiculous that you cannot tell a story to somebody else. Because it's just unbelievable. It's either unbelievable or you just won't even feel comfortable saying it. Right? That's my goal in life. Is to dance in some crazy way or some shit like that, right? To where you cannot reenact it. There's no, like, you just can't do it. That's my goal in life. But yeah, let's read this article real fast because it's been up for like the last fucking hour and I keep fucking talking. So yeah, what's it say? Gen Z millennial women celebrate themselves with success showers. Life's just not marriage and motherhood. Success showers. What's this? Morgan Prowse, a public relations executive in film, was on cloud nine after recently earning a huge promotion on the job, but there was no shower of praise for the go-getter Gothamite. What's that mean? Gothamite searching. What? Apple doesn't even know what it means. Can you see that when I click that? Oh, you can't see it when I click it. What's Gothamite mean? She lives in Gotham? Okay. So she gave herself a success shower. See, you want to, okay, here's another crazy part about this, right? About, like, see, she had to give herself a success shower. Right? Either one of them, right? This is how sick the dating market has just completely turned over the last, I'd say, the last 20 years. The whole women independence thing just end up leaving women more lonely. Just far more lonely. And it's really in a super duper weird position, right? Because she's a good looking girl. She says she's the girl on the right. She's a good, I don't think there's an angle where she would be just, an unattractive girl, right? There's no excuse for her to have to be doing this. It's no excuse. Unless she's super fucking weird. This whole women have become far more lonely, and they're trying to fake it like everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not lonely. No, I'm just fine. Like they've gotten so much lonelier with the more options they've had. What's up, Javi? I mean, it's cool you get an accomplishment. I'm not knocking her for that. But women are just becoming so much more lonely lately, and it's becoming much more noticeable, especially with online and people posting everything to the internet. I mean, and I'm proud of her for getting an accomplishment. What's this? But she celebrates the personal and professional success that my friends and I have accomplished. Prowse 28. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you for that, for sure. But sitting down, like sitting down, looking at this piece of paper is not what. Okay, women don't get happy off this type of shit, man. It doesn't. That shit. It don't. It may make them a little happy for a little time, but women need attention. They need kids. Women need attention. They need that social validation. Men need it too, but women need that shit, dude. They need it. I had a success shower, Prowse 28, a downtowner, told the Post. It's partly similar to a bridal shower or a baby shower, but it celebrates the personal and professional successes that my friends and I have accomplished. The feet focus fetes, that's that French word shit, rooted in female empowerment, see working women of the Big Apple and beyond being spotlighted for life achievements outside of marriage and motherhood. And while becoming a bride or a mommy are indeed noteworthy wins, they're certainly not the only gains a gal has to gush over. A few Gen Zs and millennials are prioritizing tying a knot or welcoming tots, only owing to the slime-laden dating pool. What is slime-laden dating pool? And the high cost of child rearing. Dynamo divas nationwide are instead hustling for big titles and paychecks. And there's gonna be other women there that can't keep no man. How much you want to bet? Yep. Yeah, this is about what I thought. There's gonna be other women there that can't keep a man. A recent Pew research found that young women earn as much as more than their male co-workers in 22 metropolitan cities across the country, including NYC, Washington D.C., and L.A. per U.S. Census Bureau data. You're using actual logic here. That you might be a misogynist for doing that. You might be a woman hater for actually pulling out data and logic and fact. Still, their workplace triumphs rarely warrant any festive fanfare. Yeah, it's not going to. Because nobody gives a fuck. So still, their workplace triumphs rarely warrant any festive fanfare. Yeah, nobody cares about that shit, dude. Nobody cares. The first thing men will tell you when they get promotions was when they because men want everybody wants promotion. The first thing that men will tell you about getting a promotion is nobody cares. That's the first thing they're gonna tell you. The only person that cared was that person. Nobody cares. And see, this is the part that women are gonna start learning out on in the hard way. Women think that men just have life easier because they go work more and all this shit like that. And that and women they're gonna want the best of both worlds. Women want that blind praise that they get just for being woman, but then they want the financial success and leadership that men get. Well, the two don't go hand in hand. See, the thing about historically in society, when you do shit in life that truly warrants praise and worship, very rarely do you actually get it. Very rarely. And if you did, you usually got ran down like a dog for years before you got it. You were told you were crazy for decades. You was told you wasn't good enough. And this is the big part that women are missing on a whole. See, a woman is so used to getting blind praise just because she's a woman that she doesn't understand it. Okay, when it comes time to actually provide something to society in a worthwhile, meaningful way, you very rarely get praise. Very rarely. And if you do, you're coming in with 5 times more negative. Somebody's going to look for a way to destroy you off of that because they want to be the person that destroyed that success. Is is not a festive. Nobody look. Who's this woman? Girardi. Look, nobody gives a fuck about your career. All right, just like you. Okay, just like you don't care about that man's career unless it's paying for your house. Okay, nobody cares about your career either. It's not just because you're a woman. The world doesn't care about these things. This is a you thing. Nobody cares. And sadly, I think many women are getting ready to start facing this soon. Because now, coincidentally, after technology has made it so women can actually work a decent amount of jobs in modern technology, now there's a lot more women who are actually able to go work 5 days a week, 40 hours a week kind of thing. They're getting ready to start coming across as a lot more participation trophies. Just being worshipped just because you just were there. That's woman shit. That's bitch shit. That's women and children get worshipped just because they exist, right? And they usually get worshipped for some stupid shit, hanging up stickers on a fucking wall or some shit. I mean, some shit like that. See, now you're in the world of actually having to contribute to society, and now you're getting ready to see that reality. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. The women who you think care don't care. Okay? They're faking it. Oh, yeah. They're going to sit down and fake it with you in hopes that you just fake it back to them when they, get a promotion. The only reason these women pretend to care about anything is because they're going to fake it in order to try to contractually obligate you to worship them whenever they go through something. That's it. Women do not genuinely worship motherfuckers just because it's the right thing to do. The right thing to do ain't got nothing to do with woman psychology at all. The right thing to do does not fit in woman psychology, period. Let's see this. She's an astronaut, which is cool. Now, she's an astronaut. That is a rare situation. If she's literally in this is extremely rare situation. But even then, motherfuckers would be like, oh wow, she's an astronaut. But motherfuckers ain't getting ready to sit up and throw a party for this bitch because because she didn't learn how to, because she's working at NASA. Nobody's getting ready to throw a whole big party for you for too long unless you came from a hard upbringing or something like that. Nobody cares. All right. All the men that worked at NASA, I'm sure will confirm this. Now you just a dude that went to NASA. That's it. Ain't nobody out there at picnic tables with you. Oh, you went to NASA. Here's a plaque. Nobody cares, bro. You just that other motherfucker that's at NASA now. Like I said, women are gonna start feeling this. Women are gonna start getting this a lot. It's gonna start hitting a lot harder in the next decade, especially in the West. But that's impressive that she's doing. She's a married mom and astronaut for the International Institute of Aeronautical Science. That's impressive. That is. I'm not going to throw a party for the bitch. I don't give a fuck. It's impressive. Hey, wow. Wow, astronautical science. That's pretty cool. I'm not getting ready to go throw a party for this hoe. I don't care. Right. And again, none of the women who was working with her, none of her colleagues, if anything, they all got envious and jealous. Nobody around. And see, this is the dark side that women were sheltered from. Right? This is the dark side that they didn't know existed. Like, nobody gives a fuck. It's not to hurt your feelings at all. It's definitely not. Again, I think it's impressive, but nobody cares. Okay? See, this is what men live with all the time. See, men live with holding doors open for bitches, buying bitches birthday presents, doing, and she just, and the women just don't care. See, men grow up in this world of doing things and never receiving any glory for it. Right? Men are used to, women are not used to that. They're just not, on a whole. They're not used. They're not used to putting in any, the slightest bit of effort and not getting at least somebody to stare at them in the mall because she put on some eyeshadow. Like, she's, woman is used to being glorified because of, at the core of just being woman. You say, Javi, women trying to get men to care about their money, degrees, and accomplishments, like men trying to get women to care about their car collection. Yeah. 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 Like, nobody cares. No, the only men, because somebody else, I swear I was saying this years ago. Maybe somebody else was saying it too, but um, I forgot where I was going because I started thinking about the video I'd seen where somebody else said essentially what I was saying years and years ago on YouTube. But fuck, where was I going with that? Because then I read the food tastes better when you hear me rant. It just like threw my whole brain off. But fuck, I forgot where I was going with that. Fuck it. I have a lot of support from women in my family. Gerardi, 35, from Jupiter, Florida, tells the Post, we've always had a celebrate all the things approach to important life milestones. I love that my 6-year-old daughter is growing up to see that not even the sky's a limit on her dreams. That's cool. I'm not mad about that. That's cool. In honor of her upcoming 2026 space flight, she's one of the 100 women in history to fly to space and is the second trip in the payload specialist's otherworldly career. Gerardi's mother, Marion, hosted a space shower brunch this July. The celestial shindig came complete with the cosmic theme cookies, decorations, and friendship bracelets. My favorite part was probably the heartfelt toast from my mom, said the researcher, who's helmed career showers for her friends attaining PhDs and relative breaking ground in the world of gardening. I love that my 6-year-old daughter is grown up to see that not even the sky's the limit. Yeah, that's cool. Like, it's cool. It's cool. Like, it's admirable. It's cool. I'm not gonna throw a party for her. I don't care to go to a party for her. It's now it sounds mean, but I'm gonna put it in the perspective of how brutal this is because it sounds mean with me saying it. Like, I would never go to a party for about her because I don't care. Right? I never even went to my own college graduation half the goddamn time because I didn't care. Right? I kept my life moving. But an astronaut, that's a rarity. I get that. But here, let's put it in perspective of that's cool, of saying that's cool, right? Like, her being an astronaut is cool. It's cool, right? Just like the men who die in wars. Yeah, that's cool that they died in the war. Like, yeah. But she wouldn't go to a party made for these motherfuckers. On Memorial Day, she ain't going to stand outside to go celebrate the motherfuckers who died in war, right? Because she didn't give a fuck about them. It's like, oh, wow, that was cool. They went off and did that, Well, I guess it's admirable if I think about it. And she went off to paint her fucking toenails. Let's be real about it. Like, she didn't care. Let's be real about it, right? The only reason it means more is because she's a woman, and women needs to be acknowledged. Because from the start, from the very beginning, woman is used to putting in the bare minimum of effort and somebody in the room staring at her for it. She's used to that. Woman is used to walking into the room and literally giving the bare minimum of effort for whatever it is, and somebody's gonna come give her something. Whether it's holding a door open for her, whether it's staring at her, whether it's hitting on her, whether it's coming to bring her the pickup, the pick up and mop and move it because the woman, here comes a lady coming down the hallway, right? Whatever, right? Woman is programmed to receive shit her whole life, right? So the second she doesn't, it's an atrocity. Life's an atrocity now. Something's wrong. This needs more focus, right? It hurts. But again, like I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's cool. She's an astronaut. I think that's cool. I mean, I'm not. I don't care, and I'm not going to think about it. 10 seconds after I turn this computer off. But I think it's cool while it's on my mind. Right now, of course, her mom's going to be proud because if my son did anything, I'd be proud of my son and think about it. Of course, mom is going to be proud, but virtually mom and dad is going to be proud. Maybe grandparents, maybe, aunts and uncles will be proud, but virtually nobody else is going to really care about it too much. Not even her own kid. Like, my son is not going to care about anything I did in life. My son does not care about my degrees or the fact that I'm living 5,000 miles away from home or I've got to learn a different language. My son doesn't give a fuck about any of that. It's just what it is. It's the reality of the situation. I mean, if you get my son to sit down and think about it once he gets older, he'll be like, "Wow, that's pretty cool," and then he's off doing something else. He doesn't care, right? But guess what? Let me throw a success shower. Fucking success shower. The fuck are you talking about? A success shower. Jesus fucking Christ. Purchase special cookies and decoration for her a 36-year-old woman, a 35-year-old woman needing baked cookies. You too big. You just too old. You too old for that shit. You too old. But that's women. Women need like they get addicted to that attention that they get from younger ages. They don't know how to operate without it. Fuck you. You 35, buy your own damn. Why the fuck you sitting around looking for cookies? At 35, get your grown ass on the moon. Fuck out of here. Cookies. Fucking cookies. Are you fucking serious right now? We talking about an astronaut going and we showcasing the cookies for her. Look, this dumb shit out of here. I don't even look at this shit no more. Cookies, bro. This bitch walking on the moon, you still sitting up showcasing cookies. Flour and sugar. The fuck? What is the meaning that counts? See, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, this is what I be talking about. Like, it's always focused on like the dumbest goddamn shit, right? It's always like the dumbest shit. Cookies. Cookies. I mean, cookies. First, we talking about the moon. We talking about aeronautical science, and then cookies for a success shower. Hey, look at my success, y'all. Like, why the? Like I said when I started this live stream, I couldn't even find I don't even know where my degrees are. Luckily, my dad sent a picture of one that he kept. I don't even know what my degrees are because it's not my identity. My identity is not success. My identity, I don't have to celebrate one thing I've ever done. My identity as a man, I don't think success should be a man's identity. I think success should be something he does, but I don't think it should be anywhere near an identity or anything like that. This is wild shit. But I did want to leave this because New York City's women insanely high dating standards are screwing them over. Well, yeah, that's a known thing. Dating expert. What the fuck is a requirement for a dating expert? Like, dating expert is a project manager. Like, dating. Now I'm gonna roast this dude. Dating expert. Are you dating expert? You're a fucking expert on dating. What in the entire world of humans and humanity and the slightest differences that can mean one thing or another, dating expert is like Instagram model, right? Like I think the term dating expert is just like a clear fucking red flag for somebody who just missed the boat on having an actual accomplishment on their name. I don't know this dude at all, but that's just my assumption when I hear the words dating expert. Like maybe they're trying to appeal to fucking like 16-year-olds kind of thing. Dating expert. Lithonia by Childish Gambino. What you just said reminds me of a song by. Okay, what's up, Dibs? Dating expert. What's this? 5 signs a woman is too good for her man, according to dating expert. Dating expert. I just think it's funny. In a viral Instagram video, Love Guru. Look at him. Just look at him. Like, look at him. Let me tell you something. Anything that has to do with women, you can sell women anything as long as you just wrap it in gold paper, right? If you just tell them you're an expert. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Just say it. Dating expert. What the fuck? Dating expert. Bitch, you know what you gotta do as a woman to date well? Just show up, take a bath, and suck a dick. That's all you gotta do to date it as a woman. It's not hard. Just show up, shut the fuck up, take a bath. I mean, it's no expert. Oh. And then look at him. The date. He just a regular old dude. He just a regular old dude just talking shit. He's a love guru. What the fuck? A love guru. They call this motherfucker a love guru. Are you fucking serious right now? Jacob Blucas revealed 5 relationship red flags. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's see what Jacob Blucas is talking about. He doesn't take you out on dates. Okay, so first let's start with this. He doesn't take you out on dates. Now, in my opinion, I really don't think there should be dates that last any longer. I don't think if two people. Oh, here's the thing. If people are really into each other, or people are actually into each other, I don't think it should even last that long. You shouldn't be dating for 6 months. By the time somebody is dating somebody for 6 months, that I mean, I'm not saying nothing can happen, but if the guy is still taking you out on dates and it's been longer than 2 months, that woman is strictly a prostitute. Period. If a man is dating a woman in the context of what a date usually means, which is I'm only meeting you to take you out somewhere, right, to a restaurant or something like that. I'm only meeting you to take you out and spend money. Woman, you are officially a direct prostitute now. That's it. Right? If you two aren't like laugh out loud comfortable within, I say, okay, how I roll in life, if I'm dating a woman, right, and I'm not talking like I get a million dates because I don't, but yeah, because it's just reality. But how I roll is this: if I'm dating a woman, and if one of us ain't farted, burped, or laughed out loud within 3 dates, I'm not dealing. There's a good chance I'm not going to deal with it for too much longer, or anything like that. My spouse told me she still remembers when we first started dating. I don't remember doing this, but she does because she reenacted it how I did it on the bed. She said it was our first date, and I sat down and now again I don't remember doing this, but she remembers it. I sat down in a chair and I put my feet up like this and I farted, and I laughed at myself for farting. And I don't remember doing it. It sounds like something I would have done, but I honestly don't remember doing that. But she remembers it because she reenacted it sitting on the bed how I did it. I don't remember doing that shit at all. She said I held my legs up. I sat down in the chair and I held my legs up like this. You can't see me, but I held my legs up and I farted like, and I laughed about it. It sounds like something I would have done. I'm not saying I didn't do it, but I don't remember doing it at all. But back to the point. I don't think men should date a woman in that traditional sense any longer. I would say any longer than this whole thing of waiting 2 weeks before you go on another date. All that. No, I don't play that, man. I don't do that whole like you talking to a woman and you taking her on a date next week, or talking to a woman and you go on a date 1 week and then you go back out like 2 weeks later. I don't do that, man. Like, look, if I'm talking to you, then we gotta go do something. And if she's not down for that, then cool. I don't do that whole slow distant thing. I just don't care for that. I'm not that type of person. Like in the dating world as a single guy hanging out, like, okay, what are you doing? Are you into something? Well, we can go do that. Like this whole like, I'm not the average person with this. I think it's just boring. But yeah, I never took my. We only dated. We only went out to eat maybe 2 or 3 times, and that's just because the main restaurant was at the train stop where we would end up bumping into each other or meeting. So we just said, yeah, let's just meet there on your way home from work or something like that. That's why we even went out as long as we did. Because if it wasn't for that, it's this pizza restaurant that's literally on this corner where the trams run. And she would ride those trams on her way back from work, on her way home from work, but the trams cross where I would go down to the city. So that's where it's like, oh, so I just say, yeah, I'll just meet you on your way home where you go get some pizza. Cool. And that's what we did. And we only did that for about maybe a month, maybe. And then she just started coming over and just cooked in the kitchen after that the whole time. Yeah. The 5 signs a woman is too good for her man. I mean, he doesn't take you on dates, so she's too good for that. So she meaning what that translates into to women is unbeknownst to women is she needs to sell her pussy at higher prices. Prostitute. Number 2. You make more effort on your physical appearance than he does. I'm just gonna act like that didn't even show up. You're his biggest cheerleader, but he doesn't return the support. Yeah, I highly doubt most women are gonna have that problem. He only talks when he wants something. He only talks when he wants something from you. That's a good place to keep her. That's what's gonna keep him around. He's not 100% loyal, but yeah, okay, yeah. These are just general bullshit facts. Okay, the most of these facts are for women who can't keep a man. That's why they're still dating. See, this thing right here. Yeah. This thing right. See, I'm awkward because I've been out the US for so long. I missed this infatuation period with this stuff. I've completely missed it. The infatuation with women trying to deduce what they want in a man. I missed all this on a unanimous level. I've missed this, so I don't get it with them coming out with this in the U.S. A recent survey from a dating app, Flirtini, found that a whopping 80% of women are open to lowering their standards, though, in order to meet a mate. Look, what is this shit? So, the funny part about a woman lowering her standards. So let's really dive into what a woman's actually bringing to the table, and then lowering her because I had to check my girlfriend about this. I checked her hard, and her feelings got hurt. She was mad at me about this because I remember when we started dating. I was driving somewhere, and she was telling me how she was dating. This one older guy was he really wanted her, and like he was in love with her, and she was like, and she said, and she's to this day she swears that she never said this, but she did. We were in the car. I remember clearly she said it. She said that she could do better than him, than this older guy, right? I mean, when I say older, he's maybe I think like in his mid like 50s or something like that, and he was on her. And she said I could do better than that. I could do better than him. And so I asked her, okay, well tell me what about you is better than that guy? Like what about you was better to where you would have had to lower your standards to be with? What about you was genuinely better than that guy? The guy had his own money. The guy had his own career. The guy had himself in shape. The guy knew what he wanted. Now, what did you have in life? who was actually better? Who was actually lowering their standards for real? Right? Outside of prostitution, who was the one who was lowering their standards? The only thing that my spouse brought to the table was sitting there looking like a woman and potentially getting fucked. That's all she brought to the table. After that, if you strip out that part of the dynamic, she's infinitely more worthless than a man. My own spouse. Right? Once you take, especially you don't have kids together, all stuff like that. So this whole concept of women lowering their standards, bitch, you are the low standard. Melania Trump is the low standard. All right, Melania Trump is worth less than than an average guy working at Costco. Okay. The only thing that gave her some ability to have standards is because you think you can fuck her. That's it. You take that one simple trick out, she's a completely worthless piece of shit. Donald knows it. His brothers know it. His parents know it. His dad knows it. Melania Trump is fucking worthless, dude. Once you strip that out, this whole concept of women lowering their standard, bitch, you are the low standard. The fuck are you on about? I don't even lower my standards. You are the low. This concept of I could do better, bitch. Every man who was approached. I would say this: at least 85% of men who approached women were really out of the woman's league. The only thing that kept a woman in a league was because she looked a little cute and she might suck a dick. That was it. Every man is out of a woman. At least 85% of men who have approached 100% of women were out of the woman's league. For real. Like on some real shit. Not just, looking cute for that 5 minutes. But on some real, like on character levels, intellect levels. The man's out of her league. And it always like just confuses me with this whole concept of women lowering their standards. You are the low standard. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't offer nothing here of great other than an orgasm. That's about all you offer me is an orgasm. That's it. Okay, everything else is going to be a constant headache, nightmare, walking on eggshells, whatever the fuck. Everything else is going to be that. There is no benefit that after the orgasm, there's not much benefit really to keep a one woman around too long. You know, unless you just want to or some shit like that, or you want kids or something like that. That's it. If you take away anything that has to do with sex, she is the low standard. Every man has to come down on standards to deal with her. Okay, when a man goes out and finds a woman, right? A man usually wants to build things with a woman, right? And women know it, so they try to sell the whole, yeah, I am, I can do this and that. But what women really want is just to sit back and watch you build everything, while she can go, yeah, my man is building everything. That's what every woman really wants, right? She doesn't want to build anything because she knows whatever she builds is going to be a piece of shit. She knows it. Melania Trump knows it. She knows it good. Melania knows whatever she's gonna go out there and build without Donald is gonna be a piece of goddamn shit. She knows it. Brittany Renner knows it. So she better sit around and hope she scavenged the breadcrumbs off of PJ Brown or whatever that motherfucker's name was, who impregnated her. Because Brittany Renner's a piece of shit. Brittany Renner is the low standard. Any man who approached Brittany Renner was out of Brittany Renner's league. All right? Unless he was like a complete homeless dude, some shit like that had literally fucking nothing. And even then, I say the homeless dude would have a better outlook on life if he just gave half a fuck and, you know, and had a random stroke of luck. And that homeless dude would be out of Brittany Renner's league. Right? Brittany Renner is nothing in this. She is the worthless piece of shit. She don't coming down on, what the fuck are you coming down? I got what my standard, bitch. You ain't got no standards. I just find it sick, man. I find it's just so crazy how these 4 to 5 words can completely change a man's train of thought without him even realizing. These manipulative tactics. This is why I say women should be punished 5 times the rate of what men should be punished for in these worlds. Those 4 to 5 to 8 words can completely change how you will approach a woman, how you think about a woman, this and that, right? Where you treat. I'm not saying be mean to women. Like, don't just be like, you know, unnecessarily rude to women. Like, you know, be a decent human. But if you really want to talk about standards, what's this 8 women are open to lowering their standards. Bitch, you are the low standard. What the fuck? You got this confused from the start. Talking about you lowering your standards. What the fuck are you? Woman, like, what are you? You're an orgasm. That's the whole reason why the man even wanted to date you, because he wanted an orgasm. He said, I wouldn't mind coming off or from that. That's the whole reason why he even approached you. It wasn't because you're an astronaut. Don't nobody care about fucking Girardi and her. And nobody wanted to fuck Girardi because she was an astronaut. Okay? Nobody went, damn, you know what? I'm going to watch porn and search in my Pornhub search. I'm gonna type in a woman who's a qualified astronaut and jack off to that. Nobody's jacking off to a bitch's college degrees on the wall. They want a bitch because she looks good, and that's it. Period. Fucking period. Now a dude can get pussy because he's an astronaut. Motherfucker hear a dude is an astronaut, she'd be like, ooh, where he at? That's my friend, the astronaut. Yeah, that's my friend. She'll be on him. But a woman doesn't get dick because she's an astronaut. It don't work that way. How long do you think a guy should casually see a woman before wifing her? You mean like actually getting married, or like being in like a comfortable relationship with her? In terms of being in a comfortable relationship, what's up, Tope? In terms of being in a comfortable relationship, I would say until you feel comfortable that she'll take care of you when you get sick. I tell everybody this, men and women. Don't be serious with somebody until you know you can call on them when you get sick. Right? When you know that they're gonna come over with some Tylenol, or you mean some painkillers, or some Theraflu, some shit like that, or something like this, right? That's the only woman that is worth you spending any time on and potentially taking it to the next level. If whatever woman in your life that you're seeing right now, if you think about her and you don't generally kind of know that if you get sick, she's gonna offer to bring you over some food, some soup, some Theraflu, whatever, things like this. If you even have a doubt that she'll do it, then that she ain't that's not a good one. I mean, you can still deal with her, just to get pussy out of her and that kind of thing. But if you don't, in my opinion, if so, to answer your question, however long it could take to get to that point, doesn't now in this scenario, it doesn't really matter how long it gets to that point. If you can get to that point with any woman that she'll take care of you when you're sick, then fuck with her. But if you could tell by how a woman's acting, like you're never really gonna feel comfortable in that sense, then I would just ignore her or keep her at arm's length, something like that. Because I'm not the type of person who's gonna sit up and play these games, like figure out if she's gonna get to that point or not. You know if this person is that type of person to do these things, or if they're not, right? So this woman says, I 100% would not date a guy who lives in Queens, and I do a heavy stalk before saying yes to anyone who lives in Brooklyn or Jersey. Yeah, and she's 30, Manhattanite who's 30, and it's, her age sounds about right with her prerequisites. All three of my last boyfriends have Wikipedia pages. Another selective singleton, 23, weighed in. Money's nice. A private jet between sweetens the deal. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Blah, blah, 20 plus. When someone presents me with a list of 20 plus things they have to have, I ask them to try cutting it down to 10. It's just this online. The internet has just destroyed women. The internet has destroyed women. It's not just in America too, man. It's everywhere. The only thing is, once you leave America, if you're American, you can sell being from America, or just from a richer country. But the internet has just destroyed women. It's just they're just destroyed. And the more we go, the more we travel down this road of like women's freedom and all this shit like that, and having women going to go to universities and using technology. The more I see why, historically speaking, women were usually kept away from technology and shit because their brains just can't handle it. Their brains, it's just how they're wired. They can't handle. Is the more success and freedom they get, the worse it is for them as a whole. Period. There's been, since all this has happened, there's been very little, if any, true benefit. Okay, another thing just happened. Let's look this up. Women went on strike the women went on strike in Iceland. Now, what happened was the women ended up going on strike in Iceland. How I understood this was this. The women went on strike in Iceland, right? Well, like with feminism in North America, it's only for the richer women. It's not for the poorer women, minority women. The feminism isn't for them. It's really for the richer women who can, afford to take off of work to go stand outside all day, right, and just not go to work and be like, fuck my job, right? Like feminism in North America, same thing. So, but what was actually reported was the entire day was actually so much easier since the women didn't go to work. There were no complaints at work. Everything was peaceful, quiet. Everything got done. The women who stayed at home with the family, they stayed at home with the family and played the woman's role. What actually ended up happening when the women in Iceland actually went and did that? Society actually ended up more peaceful. Motherfuckers was actually shit could get done. There was no complaints at work or anywhere. Everything came back to a peaceful core. But yeah, they went on strike to try to say, oh yeah, women aren't earning as much and all this shit like that, blah blah blah. But what the reality what ended up happening was everything ended up becoming more peaceful. Minister, yeah. But yeah, go read on if you get it for a spare moment. Read about what actually happened when they went on strike. It was wild shit. It's honestly it's expected. It's not really wild. What age do you think most women start to become jaded and not worth dating for men? The vast majority 35. I would say, well, the vast majority between 32 and 35. The vast majority, you will find some who make the cut, but the vast majority 32, 35 is when they become jaded, angry, bitter. Because well, every woman is mad about turning. There's no woman who's happy about turning 30, ever. If they say it, they're lying. Because they know, because every woman knows that that's the age when they just can never go back as to be 20 again. Red Pill didn't make this up. Women did. That's a trap. Never complain your struggles to your girlfriend or wife. Talk to your friends or parents or siblings, but never to your female partner. I know they say they're dying for it. Yeah, don't fall into it. Yep. Eunice, I agree. Yo, window. I was surprised when I got the notification you liked an old comment of mine on Instagram. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, never tell them. Yeah. I've been seeing her real casually for a while now, but I want to take it to the next level and make it more serious. What's the best approach to let her know without losing any respect or frame? Well, that's hard because I don't know how you actually like carried yourself the whole time. I wasn't there. I mean, I would just tell her, but I'm also a little older, and maybe I'm older than you, Sebastian. I don't know. Um, but I'm the kind of guy, I'm the type of person I would just tell her. I would just tell her. How long would you wait for sex? I can't deal with how women will make one man wait but won't make another dude wait. Oh, well, when I was dating, I don't know of a time where it lasted any. I can't. Okay, to be honest, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not trying to be a guy who's like trying to like say I get so much pussy I can't keep track and all this shit like that. But to be honest with you, I cannot think of a time where I went any longer than two dates of going out. Except, well, I mean, there were times where when I was younger, where I did try to like just be a good guy and the girl just was not into me at all kind of thing, and it went on for like months. But that was when I was like younger. I was in my early 20s back then. But after I got to be maybe after I finished my first degree, I was like 24 because I started college late. um since that time, man, If I was ever with a girl, I can't think of one time it lasted any longer than 2 dates. To be honest with you, I can't remember one time. Usually the first date, to be honest with you. But I can't think of it any longer than 2 dates. I don't think, and knowing me, especially after I hit about 25, I don't even see myself as really as even hanging out that long. Like my personality type, I think just wouldn't even allow for that to even happen, to hang out any longer than that. Like somebody just has to go, either me or her. How long did it take you to get out the beta American mindset while living in Czech Republic? Completely out of it? Well, even with because when I married my ex-wife, I married her to stay in the country, but she had a kid. She had a small kid. But even when we were talking, like it was pretty clear that I wasn't a chump. Like I wasn't gonna buy her, or I remember she got mad at me because I didn't buy her kid any clothes or anything, and she brought it up. She said, "How come you don't buy him a coat or anything?" I said, "I'm not buying him anything. He's not my. I'll buy him an ice cream if we go out, but I'm not buying him like a fucking coat or no shit like that." But I guess you could still technically say it was like a beta kind of relationship because because he was another guy's kid there. But we definitely married just so I could stay in the country. It wasn't out of love or anything like that, even though she tried to turn into love later. But I guess what I would call getting out of what I would call not being a beta dude is being able to tell a woman no. Right? I think that's the bigger situation. Like being able to tell a woman no, not just don't say anything about it, but tell her directly no. Right? Um, that happened when I was about. That was before I came to Czech Republic. Because I remember the first time I told this girl no, she told me in a laughing way, but she was serious, but in a laughing way, that she was gonna murder me in my sleep because I told her no. And she was a cute girl, so she'd never been told no before. Um, but yeah, I luckily I was never the kind of guy to pay for a woman's internet. There's a girl at my spouse's job. She was walking around bragging how a guy was paying for her Netflix and taking her out to eat and all this shit like that. As soon as she told me, I'm like, what? He's paying her Netflix? Like, how do you even come up with that in a conversation, right? How do you just pay somebody else's subscription? You mean like it's not my subscription. I'm paying you. Now my spouse pays for that. I don't pay for Netflix. She pays for it, and I never watch it. We got Netflix here. It's on the TV above here. I never watch. Now she pays for Netflix. I don't pay for Netflix. I would never pay for. I think Netflix is stupid. It never has the movies you want when you want to watch them. Uh, I don't care for Netflix. I'd rather just go to one of them sites that you just watch whatever you want for free. Or just download a movie from somewhere. But um, yeah, that whole concept of like a guy just like paying a woman's internet or paying her phone bill or paying a bill of a. I've never been that guy. Never. I've never been that guy. So after the second date, if a girl rejects sex, I should part ways. Wish I knew that. I would. Maybe not exactly completely part ways, but just slow the complete fuck down. Like, don't be excited about her at all. Just I would take it as she doesn't like me, and just move on. And if she comes around, cool, whatever. But like if you was into her kind of thing, I would just take it as she just didn't like me and just move on. But here's okay, and also being in Czech Republic, being here versus being anywhere in the U.S. Like you're definitely more free to say real shit, right? You're definitely a lot more free here than you are, back in the U.S. to say like even when I left there, things were starting to get weird before I left the U.S. I don't think they weren't anywhere where they are now. Like this is 8 years ago, but things were starting to get weird. Now the weird part about me and going back to the U.S. is now I'm the guy who's gone off to Europe, so that gives me an automatic upper hand to women once they find that out, right? Like of being like a world traveler. So I could potentially make a cut, but I don't want to because I don't care for the mentality. I never did care for American women for the most part. I always knew I would never be with an American woman. Even when I was a small kid, I always knew something just wasn't right. As a kid, I knew that something wasn't right and I was going to have to leave far away to ever find a girlfriend. Now, I didn't, this is before I knew the concept of different countries, these kind of things. But as a little kid in Ohio, I always knew something was not right. And I knew it would be a very low chance. I got really lucky and found one just like specially weird girl that like it was going to be a low chance I would ever get any kind of girlfriend in where I was. I just knew something wasn't right. I knew I wasn't gay. I knew it wasn't like I just didn't like girls or anything like that. I knew I liked girls, but I knew something was just not right with the girls that I was coming around in Ohio. I would be around. Something just was never right. It was just always just this weird disconnect. Um, I always knew it as a kid. Always knew it. A comment just came up there, but it didn't show up in my comment section. It's too small to read it. Where it says yeah, but I can't read it. Hang on, let me make it. So I'm gonna get off here in a minute. I'm getting tired. Oh, not that. Here it is. Because I can't read it. It didn't show up in like the stream. So it didn't show up in like my Streamlabs, but it showed up on the YouTube part from 8-Bit World. Yeah, it's like when you bring up or infer sex with Western women, it's like they act like they're too good for it. It's annoying. North America, Canada feels like a sexual prison, and I'm not a bad looking guy. Yeah, yeah. It's like okay. It's like it's like an extreme. Like I remember one time, and I still feel bad about this because this girl was actually really good looking, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and in some kind of way we ended up in somebody's basement with a bunch of girls, right? And this one girl, she was a really good looking girl, and she just kind of kept and it's like I knew she liked me, but I was still just kind of uncomfortable for some reason. But I knew she liked me because she just kept letting me grab her and like push her or pull because we were like playing, and we were like we were like 20. But we had been playing like the whole day. We were playing basketball, racing outside, this kind of thing, right? And we ended up back in somebody's basement. And I really did like this girl. She was really cute. She was really good. I thought she was a really good looking girl. And it got to a point. I remember I was like grabbing her head and like shoving it like on my dick. But like I had my pants on though. And she was and she would just like smile and just let me keep doing it. And I was just so uncomfortable because at this point, when you deal with American women, you're just so used to rejection. It's just like, wow, like this girl's actually attractive and she's being submissive and she's playing and she's having fun with it. To where I was just lost. I just didn't know what to do. So I just kind of like ignored her the rest of the night. But I still felt bad for that. But I still remember, I wonder what she looks like now, because that was like 18 years ago. But it's just that situation, man. It's like, especially in the U.S., like you're just like a guy, you're just so used to rejection that by the time any woman acts like she has decent sense around you, the first few, you don't know what to do. It's like, what the fuck do I do? Right? Or on the other side, most women are used to guys just giving them free shit, right? So women, they're used to dealing with all that, and they're just further ahead in this department than men. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here because it's 10:05 and I'm tired as fuck. So I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all have a good day, evening, night, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.